Do
Let's
it.
cleanse the air.
Here we are. Here we are. Get the stage out, bitches.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that, but I wasn't sure if that was right. I keep forgetting what they use. You know.
And let's see if our notifications go out today because they
Oh,
have
was
not
it? Is it
been.
acting
Yep,
up?
they've not gone out yet. Let's see.
Oh,
All
that
right.
sucks. Okay.
So good morning, Daphne.
Good morning, Nita. So how was your Mother's Day?
It was horrible.
Oh no!
Yes, and I'm going to tell you all about it.
Oh,
And all that other
story time.
bullshit. Yeah.
What's
Good morning,
today's date
everyone.
anyway?
It is May 13th, 2024, and this is the Rage Into the Vlogs, the show that no one even knows about because
the notifications don't go out.
It just irks the shit out of me. So when you guys tune in on the replay, just know that we tried.
We tried.
Oh, are you ready for this shit?
Absolutely not, but hit it.
All right. I can't get my shit to go out at all.
Right. Well, yeah, and hold on, I forgot my cue cards. I knew I was forgetting something. Yes, I work from cue cards, everybody. No shame. I am not oh, did my thing freeze up here? I think my thing freeze up here. Oh no, I'm gonna have to do this by memory.
Oh no. Hurry up. My name is Daphne Lane.
Oh no. But who's joining us in the chat today? Anyway?
Nobody. Oh wait, somebody. Oh no, it's just me. Nobody. But one person's watching.
For stars.
So something's up. Like I don't understand what the hell's going on. But this is like the fourth show in a row that absolutely no notifications have gone out. And then on one show when they did, it was 30 minutes in. So I have to update and check all the settings and stuff and make sure it's not a me problem before I say fuck, what the fuck, YouTube.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Usually, I mean, I don't know. It's like just everything's been kind of glitching. Like Facebook did this update, and everything is still kind of messed up.
It's just starting to come back together. Oh my god, my fucking reach dropped to 35,000. That is the longest or the smallest my reach has been since the dawn of Facebook. Like seriously.
I mean, wow, that's a lot of people.
It's finally no, it's not. It's terrible. It's
really?
Terrible. Yeah, my
just
35,000 people is nothing. My numbers are usually in the millions.
Wow.
And so just within the past week, my reach is back up to 2.6 million, which is
and what is it? And what does that mean? What is
that's
that
the amount of people that will organically see your post.
Wow, really?
So, yeah, that's the organic. Like they'll you know that you're going to be seen in their feed,
right?
And it's like, but for a while there, I mean, 35K. That's nothing when you consider the entire world. I mean, that's not your followers. That's general. That's the Facebook recommendations going out. And it was Heather and I were used to seeing numbers like 10 to 12, sometimes even 20 million on spikes. And
then
it just went boom after that blackout.
Right. And they've been fixing it ever since.
And it's just now starting. And I'm just now seeing the actual engagement pick up too. So hopefully they got their shit together. I wish they'd fix Messenger because that shit's annoying.
But wow, that's a lot of people. So that's a lot of people looking at our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, that's why it's important. That's why those are the numbers that drive me crazy.
Right.
Not the subscribers, not the reach out to pull new people in, because it hinders your ability to network. If you're seeing numbers as low as 35,000 and you have a following of 30K, that just means I'm barely getting outside of my own shit.
I mean, what's really funny is that it sounds like it's more efficient to it sounds more efficient than buying Facebook ads.
It is.
Like, I just might as well just give you the money. And it's like, here, post something every day.
But see, I can't do that either. Like,
Really?
even with paid clients, I don't post them every day on my own wall anymore
Right.
because when I noticed that when we were doing repeated links, I was actually getting less engagement. Whereas if I bring them up once, twice a week and then put them out in the groups the rest of the
Right.
time,
Uh-huh.
it actually does better. I get more clicks on my Bitly links for their campaigns. Like,
Gosh,
far more.
right.
It's Facebook science. It doesn't make sense.
Oh,
It
right.
just
No, it
it's what it
absolutely
is. It's
doesn't.
what
Yeah,
it
it
is.
really well, so hello, everyone.
Good morning, Nicholas and Efrain.
Oh, good morning, and hello, my beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. If you are catching us on Facebook, if you're catching us on LinkedIn, come on over to YouTube. Join the sexy people in the chat.
Good morning,
Facebook,
Melissa.
yeah. Hey, Melissa. Yeah, I agree. The Facebook ads are just like I've only had it work very, very few times, and it just seemed like and it's just it was never consistent enough for me to feel like it was something for me to actually do. You know what I mean? It's
Right? And
it's
then they want that money constantly, so they
right,
have when you're not running, guess who gets buried?
right,
It
exactly,
forever to pull out of that shit.
right. So it's just like, yeah, so
The
yeah, that's
only Facebook ads that do well are fucking self-growth and engagement ads on Facebook.
self growth and engagement.
And it has to be directed back to Facebook.
Oh, I see.
If you try to send them off link, that shit, they bury you and you get all mixed in, and anybody who's anybody sees your shit,
Yeah,
even if
yeah,
you curate the list that it's supposed to go
right,
out to. So what I decided to do to get people to redirect to our YouTube channel and to my personal Facebook page, and
right.
this is where I fucking jumped from 8,000 followers to 25K in almost 3 months, is when I'd
Hmm.
make my fucking post, I went into Facebook and found what my target demographic was and the peak areas. And I picked that same target demographic and went to areas that were heavily populated capitals and fucking targeted those areas, but the ones that were not already. Like, I didn't go to the UK and I didn't go
Right.
to the United States
But then
because I
where did
already
you
had that. I picked like capital cities, like
well, no, but like if sending people off of Facebook gets you buried, then where did your link return to?
my Facebook profile.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, all of our shit started going back up. All of our numbers started rising. I mean,
So
at first
so
it
do
was
you
a peak, and then it just kind of it gradually kept doing this. And now I'm at 30K following, and we've got over 1,000 subscribers on the channel.
So do you think that if I did led everything back to my Facebook profile
It
or
wouldn't
my
hurt to
business
try.
page,
I
or my
wouldn't do business page because for some reason, I don't know what it is. If somebody has a business page that is thriving on Facebook, please DM me with your numbers and stuff and let's talk, because I cannot figure out the art of the business page for
oh,
anything.
but if you did it to your personal profile,
Right. And then I did one for the group. And at the
right?
time, we were sitting at about 1.5. And by the end of the run, I think I ran for 14 days.
Uh-huh.
And I did a very cheap one because it was like, I think I spent like $80 for
Okay.
2 weeks.
All right.
And by the end of it, we were at 3,000.
Huh. Hmm.
So,
Okay,
but
maybe
it's
that
the only ones that showed good numbers are ones that redirect to
to
Facebook.
Facebook, that stay on Facebook. Oh,
Right.
okay. Well, that sounds like, maybe I should try that, especially for this next campaign. Maybe I should try that and see what happens. Hmm.
Can't hurt.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Where was I? Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah,
Hello,
my bad.
everyone. My name is Stephanie Legend. I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
Emotional damage.
As always, especially And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure, Tall Tales. Although, I broke my thing where I said that I wasn't going to use the word furry, or at least try not to use the word
No,
furry.
you didn't, because at the end of the day, we decided, fuck them guys.
Okay, there we go. So our furry fantasy adventure, Tall Tales. Thank you everybody who pledged to the previous campaign that ended on Friday. Thank you so much. Actually, we did a lot better considering. And I couldn't be more pleased with how the campaign went. So thank you everybody for your support on it. Yes, and I am also known for my medieval fantasy drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which returns to Kickstarter in less than a month. Actually, June 10th, the campaign goes live for Eagle Raven Volume 2, which collects issues 5 through 8. The link is in the show notes below. Yeah, the pre-launch page is live. So if you want to sign up for the campaign so that you get notified when the campaign goes live, the pre-launch page is up. And also in the meantime, you can download a free copy of the first issue to try it out so that you know what, you suss out the vibe of the book before you pledge. So check that out. Also, you can read both my comics online for free at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage Art, where I have over 500 videos of how I make my comics and live streams, and also back episodes of the vlogs as well. But it also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when any of our shows go live. And to tell you more about it, here's Nita.
Nita. I have the Indie Comics Network on YouTube. You can find it at indiecomicsnetwork.com. We have live streams every day of the week now.
Right.
Again, multiple on some days. Just tune in or tune out, whatever. There's stuff. It's comics.
Stuff. There you go.
Comics.
And where can they find it again?
indiecomicsnetwork.com.
It's .com.
Cut.
So, yeah, Melissa says, it's funny because in my one Discord, we're having a debate about the usefulness of social media for comics promotion right now.
Okay, here's the deal. Social media is useless if you're not socializing on it.
That's the trick.
That is the trick. And the biggest thing I see with these comics people a lot, not all, because nobody come at me, oh, well, I do. I'm not talking about you then.
Right. But you are outnumbered. You are outnumbered.
You are definitely outnumbered because the majority of these people want to drop links in people's fucking DMs without even saying hello. Fuck you. How's your mom's in them?
Right. Yeah.
Or they want to get into the fucking groups and just drop their link and run, not like, share, or do anything with anybody else's fucking project.
Right.
Or you go to their fucking page and it doesn't even look like they're a fucking artist or a writer or creator of any sort. They just got stupid shit. It's just constantly just dropping links, and running out.
Right.
And it's like, you know what? No, that's not it. It's absolutely useless. If you're going to do that, if that's all you're doing, you might as well fuck off, because you're not going to get seen. It's a waste of your time and other people's time, because when you do pop up in their feed, they don't give a flux.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to kind of get over, that it's like, yeah, on social media, you do have to be social.
No matter the platform, your engagement with others, and it's simple. I'm not sitting there saying get to know everybody's fucking personal life. Be a productive member of the society on Facebook or whatever. No, like, dude, you can do simple shit like just a like, a share, follow, an emoji as a comment. Comments are great for engagement.
Yeah.
But don't be one of them dumbasses who, like, something I've learned is you guys try to resist the temptation to like your own post.
Oh, people do that?
People do that. And it's like, That's not the
I'm
same.
always
However, your own organic engagement with your own following through your Facebook profile
right,
really boosts your numbers. Like if
right,
somebody comments on your shit, drop something there. Be
right,
like I mean, now I understand if you have thousands of followers, it's hard to do
right,
because I can't keep up with everybody who comments on
right,
mine, but I do try to at least comment or drop an emoji or something
right.
to acknowledge
Little
the
heart
fact that
or
this
something.
person engaged with you.
Right, yeah.
You'll be
Yeah.
that does wonders for your social media.
Right,
Wonders.
yeah. I mean, because what I started making a habit is like every time I go, like, I start my day, I go on Facebook, hey Grant, and then I just go down my feed and I look, I don't think Garth Innes
Yeah, that
really, I
doesn't
don't
count.
think I don't think he counts. Like I don't think that he really depends on social media. Oh yeah,
Right.
exactly. Because
That's
you're
yeah.
famous
Yeah,
outside of
it
it,
doesn't matter.
you know? It's like I go down my feed and I just really quickly try to find posts that I can like comment really quickly on or do. I do have to admit though, I mean, it's like Steph Wilson does make it
Oh,
easy to
yeah, he
engage.
does.
He's so
Fucking
stupid.
troll.
It's
He's
like,
such
yeah,
a
it's like
troll.
he posts up this ridiculous, these
Morning,
ridiculous
Michael.
memes and stuff. And and it's very easy to engage with that. It's like I'm not a
Right.
meme person, but I think that the engagement that I give him also benefits me,
It does.
you
Because
know?
it's not only your engagement on your personal feed that counts,
Right,
it's how you're networking
right,
out even there. And
right,
it's like you can't just stick to your own fucking wall and be selfish and be like,
right,
my shit, my shit, my shit, my
right.
shit, and expect to just
Yeah, and then it's like then what I do then once I get like, it's like I don't it's like maybe like 10 minutes, just scrolling and trying to find stuff, right? Then I go on the groups tab, and then you know how it gives you a list of all the posts and all the groups, and then I
yes,
do the same thing there because that one's a little bit more randomized,
right.
because it's just all the groups, and then it's like you just like answer a little bit or a little gif a little gif, reply or something, and then it's like that's pretty much it. Um, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to make that a habit because yeah, it's like
It's a good
you
habit,
have to
and
be
your
right,
personal growth will
right.
happen through that. And
You know,
so,
um, it's like I'm kinda, it's like I'm kinda trying to build. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay, I spend a little bit more time on Twitter again, but I'm just not feeling it there. You know what it is? I've turned the feed into something different. Like I literally just keep Twitter to keep track of a lot of not safe for work artists
uh,
because it's the only place left, it seems. Um
for
and
now,
right, and then it's like, yeah, for now. And then it's like I'm not really it's not really for conversation, you know?
right.
So it's just, and then Instagram I just find really useless, but that seems to be
Instagram,
for a
okay?
lot of people. What?
Because here's the deal. You know why a lot of artists struggle with Instagram? Because a lot of artists, once again, they don't like to socialize. And if you and I can't even handle how much Instagram requires. Like
Right. No, yeah, really, it requires they
you
want
have
you
to be on
there all
top
day.
of engagement for
Yeah,
Instagram to fucking really be productive.
right,
I would never say it was useless because it works wonders for some, but those people devote a lot of time to their
right.
accounts. A
Yeah,
lot of
there was an
time.
article that came out, like, years ago about, like, what Instagram's idea of optimal engagement for a creator for to have you know,
Right.
optimum engagement on Instagram, and they it was literally a full-time job.
Yeah, no, no, it's no shit. The at the bare minimum, one of the things on yeah, and that's another thing.
Right,
When we're on, Grant just brought up this point. The only thing I
right.
don't like about Instagram is links
Yeah,
aren't
I don't like
clickable.
that either.
Nobody likes that
Yeah,
because that instant click is what we need to get the engagement directed to
right,
the fucking platforms which we're using outside of these
right,
platforms. But there was this book that C had read on, developing growing your following, and he did see his numbers start to go up. But the issue is he was having to go in and pick out 10 hashtags and 10 topics from each one every fucking day and go in and
No.
like and engage on each individual post, and then it would redirect to his, and then during the day as people would come in on his, have to engage with them too. Like Instagram is like a fucking, if you want a phenomenal Instagram
Right.
account that's going to be significant, that needs to be your only platform.
Wow. No, you see, and
It's
look, it's one
hard.
thing. It's kind of like that's the opposite. It's like the opposite of people who just want to dump a link and leave, right? They want people living on Instagram. It's like, no, that's too much.
Right.
The return on that time investment is minimal. To have like the article that I wrote was talking about, they wanted you to upload 3 reels a day.
Yeah, 3 reels a
You
day,
know?
a created post,
Right.
just
It's like, no, 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 that's no. 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 No.
yeah, I do keep an Instagram, and I keep it
Right,
alive just in the hopes
right,
that somebody stumbles across and maybe will find that link tree and find me
right.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, I do just enough to
Right,
keep it
yeah,
breathing, but that's
yeah.
it.
No, I just yeah, it's like, so like, yeah, but yeah, I limit my effort to the platforms that I feel give me the most return,
Right,
i.e. attention. And right now it has been Facebook and YouTube for me.
right, right.
It's like I've been building up my community tab on YouTube, and I'm slowly like seeing like more engagement on there. Yeah, usually just little hearts that pop up. But you know what? That's something.
It's slow growth, but it's organic growth, and
Right.
it's growth that makes a difference.
Right. Yeah. Oh, by the way, before we get more into it, so your Mother's Day question, your
Oh
Mother's Day
my
story.
fucking god. Okay, so
Yeah.
last week, this is one of those, right now I'm going through a when it rains it pours type thing, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so I've got 4 teenagers, so there's drama there anyway all the time. But
I
last week I
remember
broke
those
my
years.
phone, which is crucial to me considering I have to now sit at my fucking desk until my phone's replaced. So I ordered a new phone. The phone came in, it was the wrong phone. And when we're spending thousands of dollars on a fucking phone,
Right.
I don't have just another $1,000 to buy another
Right.
phone
Yeah.
until they
Yeah.
credit me back. So now I'm waiting for them to credit me back on the phone. Meanwhile, because we were trying to cut corners and stuff, we took our van to Walmart for an oil change.
Oh no.
We pulled up in the driveway, and the check engine light and the oil light both came on simultaneously. So we jump out and we let it cool for a minute, and then we check the oil. There was not a single drop of fucking oil on our dipstick.
Did they forget?
Walmart drained our fucking oil during the oil change, hit the reset button, and fucking never put oil in our car. And
What?
we were driving around like that because for some reason the pressure gauge wasn't registering that it was that low. Yes. So we parked the fucking car, of course, and we're like, don't drive it, nothing, because it was still cranking. Steve got up yesterday morning, walked to the fucking store to grab
Right.
some oil, came home, put it in the fucking car. We let it sit, we cranked it. And fortunately, we were very lucky because our engine did not seize up,
Right.
but it's idling rough now. So we got a friend checking it out for us
Oh,
Friday. So yeah,
okay.
that was fucking not cool. Not cool when
No,
especially just
really.
like, and it's so bizarre because I just said like the day before, I feel like I almost jinxed it. Because I just said to Chris, hey, when I get back from New York in September, we need to look into getting the kids into the driving school and go ahead and get everybody licensed and get a second vehicle.
Right.
And yeah, that's just been like, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me,
Oh
fuck me.
man. That's
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
I mean the fact that it's like you take it to a place where they're supposed to be the professionals and you have to double check their work.
yep,
I
yep.
mean, because what's
And then
funny
we
is
learned that we're not the first people that this happened to, and it's super, super hard to prove that it was their error because
Right.
they try to pull shit like, "Oh, well, you had a leak or this or that." Dude, okay, so we drive a huge fucking conversion van, right?
Right.
Because we have a large family. That motherfucker takes 8 quarts of fucking oil. If that bitch
Right.
was leaking oil, my driveway would be covered in
Right.
goddamn oil.
Right, with
It
like the
wasn't
Gulf.
leaking oil at
Right,
all,
yeah.
right? We would be in the front yard cleaning baby ducks with Dawn soap.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
just fucking I'm just like, I'm really like, never,
Yeah.
ever, ever, ever. And now I've learned that Walmart does not even require everyone who works in their shops to be certified, that they have actually been known to grab people out the deli if the mechanics are shorthand to help. So people, never fucking take your car to Walmart for a fucking oil change. Never,
Wow.
because even if you've had a good experience in the past, which we've never had issues before,
Right.
fuck it, spend that extra $50 to $75 and go somewhere else.
Right. Because I mean, my mom just got her oil changed too.
Like,
But yeah, it cost her $60 to do
yeah,
it,
because
at a gas station. I guess because it was dedicated, right?
right.
You know?
Like, no more cheapscaping when it comes to the
I
fucking
mean, but the
car.
thing is, though, it's like, I mean, I hate this timeline so much with shit like
I
that.
hate this time. We're in the worst fucking timeline.
It's like that. It's like, what? I have to be a mechanic too,
Pretty
you
much.
know? I
Pretty
mean,
much.
we have to get the bear to do
We're
everything.
just very lucky that the car didn't overheat as a result of it.
Right,
It
yeah.
cracked the head or fucking, because once that shit happens, your entire engine seizes up.
Right,
And so it could have been a lot worse.
right,
It could have been a lot worse, but it's still not good. We still have to
right,
find out what the fuck happened, what damage has been done and how to fix it.
right. Oh, what a drag. Hey,
Good
Will.
morning, William.
Oh my goodness. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so that was my Mother's Day.
Oh
But I did have fun
no.
with the kids in the evening. We played some games and we watched
Right.
Frailty with a couple of the older ones and
Uh-huh.
just
Right.
so
Okay.
it
You
was
tried to
okay.
see the Northern Lights. I mean,
Okay, we got a glimpse of them, but here's the fucking deal. Okay, so we live in a white trash neighborhood. It's better to the front where we
right.
are, but the further back you get, the more meth infested the fucking subdivision
Well,
gets. Okay. Anyway, we're
even the
outside trying to
alligators
get a
don't go there.
yeah, yeah, right. They're like, them peoples eat me. But anyway, we're outside trying to look. It's about, I don't know, 11 p.m.
All right.
the second night. And we got to see like a little bit of like this green and pink glow, and it was looking
Right.
really cool. And right when it started getting good, all of a sudden there's fucking spotlight on us, right? It's the fucking cops, okay?
Oh,
Somebody reported an intoxicated woman, short woman with dark hair, dressed in all black,
oh
walking
no.
around the fucking neighborhood, causing a scene or some shit. So the
But you were
first,
out with your family.
yes, but it
Right.
didn't fucking matter because I fit the description, so I had to go talk to home, dude.
Right.
And the first, he was nice or
Right.
whatever.
Okay. At least
He wasn't accusing, but I could tell that he
he
was
had to
talking to
follow
me,
up.
that
Yeah.
he was talking to me to see if I sounded intoxicated,
All right. Okay.
which of course made me nervous. So I'm
Right.
tripping over my fucking words while I'm talking to him or whatever.
But I think that I would hope that they would know the difference between
Yeah.
someone who's
No,
drunk and
he
someone
was
who's nervous.
just really fucking cool about it,
Right.
and
Okay.
he left, and then it started picking up again after our eyes readjusted and shit, and then all of a sudden there's another spotlight. It's the goddamn sheriff's department this
Oh my
time. And they're like,
god.
because I fit the description of
If
the
she-
fucking stupid drunk bitch that's roaming through the back of the fucking neighborhood. Yeah, it was just like, so we really, like, we got to see a little something, but not enough to where
Ah,
I've scratched it off my bucket list.
wow.
So
Wow.
yeah.
So it's like they were able to get 2 cops to come out for a
No,
drunk
no, no,
lady.
that was only the second one. It happened at least 4, I want to say there was a 5th, but there were 4 times they came by, and 2 didn't stop. They just kind of crept and were really
Right.
fucking looking over here. But it's like,
Right. Oh, wow. And I couldn't even get the cops out for a crazy old lady screaming in my window
well,
twice a day for 8 years.
oh my God.
They literally told me, "Can't you just wait for her to die?" It's like, I guess.
Because they ain't got nothing better to do. They wanted something besides the typical meth call. They wanted to go
Right.
fucking. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say
Wow.
what they wanted to do to that woman when they found her.
No.
But I guarantee you, if they did, she ain't looking pretty, because these
It's
small town popos ain't nice people.
watch enough for true crime.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So let's see. Yeah, so going back to social media.
Social media and comic books.
Social media comic books. Not that episode of the true crime podcast about Louis.
Trigger warning. Fuck you.
Oh my goodness. So the only 2 platforms that I've noticed have been working for me is Facebook and YouTube. So I'm trying to really Facebook is a lot easier for me to build up, because that's the one I mostly am on. But I decided to give. So what I did, because what I did is I went over like all my followers on Facebook, and just like going, how come I haven't been seeing like certain people, right?
Right.
And because I guess it seems like if you don't like click like on their stuff enough times, they eventually disappear from your feed.
Right.
So I went back and I go, okay, who's missing? Who haven't I seen in a while? Right. And then I started going to their thing and like started like liking a whole bunch of stuff, and then they started reappearing on my feed again. It's like, I guess, like regular social media maintenance, right? So the thing is, I haven't been on Threads for a while, and every time I would go there, it was kind of like messy, and it's like, oh, it's beginning to look like Twitter again and whatnot. And then I remember talking to Jose, and he goes like, you have to, why not just mute the stupid people?
Right.
But the thing is, though, in the past, at the beginning of Threads, like muting didn't really do much. Like, I don't know if they were still trying to figure it out. So because I would remember doing that, and then I would still like it would almost like muting would be almost like liking it, because then you'd see more of it in your feed. It was retarded.
Threads is Dr. Thunder.
Yeah. Oh no. And but I went back recently and I started cleaning up my thing again, because Threads is like, so where Twitter is where I follow all of my not safe for work artists.
Right.
Threads was where I was following all these authors.
Right.
All these independent authors and novelists. And like I said, the stupid shit kind of like got into it, and it's just like, it was just being awful to go on. So I went back in, started muting, started curating my experience that I'm always telling people to do, because you also have to maintain these sites.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of like a garden. You have to go in.
I breathe life into the rest, and I keep and I'm constantly CPR and Facebook. Please stay alive, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So decided to do that with Threads and go in there and do a little gardening, kind of like. And this time the muting seems to have worked.
Oh, really?
Because
so
now
they've changed.
I think so, because now I go on Threads and it's just all the authors, just all authors, all writers, all the stupid celebrity stuff, and it's like the edge lords and the meme people, the memes, it's like they're all gone. It's like I only literally I curated it down to what I wanted to read.
Nice.
So which actually I was very happy with. It was kind of it began to look like when I first went on Threads, it accidentally had ended up with all the authors, and I was like, oh wow, this is pretty good. So now it seems to have gone back to that. So now I've been going there a little bit more often. So so now it's gotten to a point where the indie authors are beginning to sound exactly like indie comic book people. And I go, I don't know if this is good or not, but
I told
so
you it's the same.
yeah, I know. So, but the thing is though, what I'm liking about writer threads, right, is that so like the concept of independent publishing is technically new, probably in the last 40 years,
Right.
for publishing. Now, in the span of traditional publishing, that's very new. Like in comics, that's nothing, you know.
Right.
In comics, like yeah, in 40, that's pretty much how long it took, um but with indie publishing, I think they're still going through their growing pains, especially with the advent of print on demand. And it's really interesting to see, like, especially now, how so there was always this always fight about traditional, like whether books, like books that are printed through traditional methods, channels,
Right.
right, were more legitimate than self-published stuff. It's like, oh, that's vanity, that's vanity stuff. If you're not printed by a publisher, it's like it
Right.
means that you can't hack it, and this, that, and the other thing. It's kind of how indie comics were for a while. Now nobody
Well,
really
now
cares.
nobody cares because it's
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter either way because
right.
one is who you know and the other is did you have enough money to print on demand.
Hmm. Yeah, like that type of thing doesn't seem to be, but it's still very much a big thing. And there was like this big argument going on about that. It's like, oh, the difference between traditional published books and indie books, but the stigma's kind of disappearing. The stigma's kind of like, especially now that traditional publishers really don't do much of anything anymore. Like their authors say that they've got their that they got their contracts with a traditional publisher, and the publisher is still expecting them to market the books
Yes,
completely.
they
It's like,
are.
oh, no, we're not going to do it. You have to do that. You're the one that like now some of them are saying that they're contractually obligated to have a TikTok account and to do reels,
Yep.
and like they're
And
not going to do
so
it.
what
They
are
have
you
to do it.
paying them for?
Right,
What are you
exactly.
paying them for?
Right.
What are you allowing them to take a cut of your money for? For
Right.
their fucking name? No, man.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So a couple of debates popped up that I thought were funny, because I always like to see how they parallel with indie comics publishing, right?
Right.
And so there was one author who popped up who was complaining about people who were telling them that they're not going to buy their first novel until the series is done.
Okay.
And and it's like, okay, I just seeing that, I was like going, oh, it's over here too. People are kind of tired of except instead of trade waiting, like with us, it's like people wait for the trades, right? They'd rather
Right.
not buy the
There's
individual
series
issues,
waiting.
right? But I guess with novels, it's like, well, okay, I want to wait until your entire series is done before
Right.
before I commit to the first novel. And this author was complaining that by doing that, that you were essentially asking her to work for free until until the series was complete. And usually, and the thing is though, it's like, so I've been seeing like mostly like usually it's trilogies that I'm seeing. That's usually like 3 novels is
Right.
the story. But there's some that it's like, oh, this is a 9 novel, 5 novel, it's like there was one series that was 10 novels long, and it's like there, and so there was a couple of things, right? So it's like she was saying that, oh, you're making me essentially work for free. And I'm like going,
Nobody's making you do
you
shit. What
shit,
the fuck is she talking
right.
about?
So unfortunately I lost the original post. So I wasn't sure if she was being traditionally published or not. So because if she was being traditionally published, it's like, well, no, you got paid for that book. So you're not working for free,
Right.
you know? And, of course, there was the whole thing. It's like, well, but if the publisher sees that you're not selling well, they might not commit to the second volume, the rest of the series. So it's like, okay, maybe that has, because honestly, the only other place that I've heard something equivalent in comics is actually there was like several creators at Image Comics who were saying that if you didn't buy the series, they wouldn't be able to make enough money to make it to the trade paperback. So if you wanted to see a trade paperback, you had to support the individual comics. But that was like the only time I heard that. I mean, so, so there was that, right? And then it's like, well, but if she was an indie author, it's like, okay, but that's not everybody. You're
Right.
still selling your book. So that didn't make any sense either. Right. And then when I was like, a lot of other authors were chiming in. And then pretty much what it had boiled down to that it's like, well, if our first volume of a series doesn't do well, we just abandon the series. It's like, oh, like if you don't buy the first volume, you're not giving me the incentive to continue the series. In the end, that's what was being said, that they were saying, it's like, oh yeah, that's like if they put out, and these were the self-published people.
So, but this seems to me that you're dollar chasing versus actually have something good that you want to share and get out into the world.
You see,
that's a red flag for me.
Yeah, because honestly, the second authors were saying that, I was like, look, I don't know about that first volume thing, but if anything guarantees me that I will not pick up your book now is saying something like that.
Right. Yeah, dude. Damn, I can't even find my red flag.
Damn. Oh no, you lost your red flag.
I lost my red flag.
So again, I kind of like bring it back into comics and kind of like, I mean, thankfully, there hasn't been a lot of people who have said that. It's like, oh, if you don't buy, but there have been, and my reaction to them has always been the same. That okay, that means that you're not putting out a story worth reading.
Right.
Because why would I put in that investment? If you're already telling me if your book doesn't sell a certain amount, you're not going to continue it. So, okay, let me make it easier for you. Grant says, yeah, that sounds like somebody who's just like, I'm going to dip my toe in this trend to see if I can make it work and fuck you if it doesn't. Actually, that's exactly what it sounded like.
Exactly what it sounds like.
And there was a video that I was watching of another author who said exactly that it's like she sees a trend, she starts writing for it. And if and it's like she plans out a series. And if she sees that the first volume doesn't work, or like the second volume, it doesn't pick up steam, she just abandons it and moves on.
Wow.
And again, and I told Jose this, it's like, does this sound normal to you? And he goes, no, it sounds like these are complete hacks. That it's like they're literally, that's just literally what it is. They're cranking out these books to kind of cash in on trends.
Or the reason why people like me wait for your series to be complete, or wait for your trade, or wait for a fulfilled arc.
Yeah, because it's like that.
Blame
That
people
really,
like that.
Yeah, because I think what I found strange is how very nonchalant these authors were of saying that. Like they had like no qualms, and it was just like, well, okay, at least now I know the authors I'm not collecting from.
True.
But again, it's like, so it's like, so bringing it back to comics, it's like, because I remember when that article from those Image guys came out where they were literally like begging people to buy their individual issues. And it's like Grant says, if we're going to argue that indie comics are better than Marvel and DC because they have more heart and soul, then we have to stop chasing trends. I mean, it is kind of funny how that works, right? It is kind of funny, right? That it's like, that so many people want to say, oh, it's Batman, but different. It's, it's whatever, right? But then they're doing the exact same things, Right? So it's like, so how different are you really? Like, why? But then again, I've always said that those are the type, like those creators, they're doing the equivalent of dating the ugly chick until the cheerleader finally notices them. That they're kind of just putting up with indie comics until they get their break.
Their Netflix deal or
Yeah, or
their door
whatever. So
opens
it's
for
like,
Barbara
yeah, but
Lee.
it's like, yeah, those people we've seen plenty of.
Plenty.
Um, you know, um, so then it's like, I was thinking about the whole, waiting for trade paperbacks to come out. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, it's like, why would I commit to your first issue when I don't even know if you're going to even make it to a trade? I've always remembered the thing where you said that it's like, okay, say you have a 12-issue limited series. Doesn't
Right.
sound like much, right?
Right.
But if you're releasing an issue a year on Kickstarter, all of a sudden that's way too long.
Yeah, I don't have time to wait 12 years.
Right.
I'm sorry. My attention
Uh,
span cannot handle that. There's
right.
not enough Adderall in the world to help me focus.
So, and of course, like there's people who say that's like, oh, well, if it's good, I'll collect it anyway, and this, that, and the other thing. But it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm kind of at a point where it's like the only time I collect a book without really caring about like how it ends is that if I'm only collecting it for the artwork.
Right. Same.
So it's like that would be like the like your artwork has to be really fucking good for me to collect a book just for the sake of collecting it and not like care about the story. Um, and the thing is though, but at the same time is that if your story is really fucking good, um I mean, you're only pissing me off as a reader by not finishing it.
Right.
Melissa says readers do tend to gravitate to things that are familiar so they know what they like. Oh, that's kind of a different that was also another conversation too that they were having where they were kind of some people were kind of debating the whole tropification of novels,
Right.
tropification of stories. And this actually stemmed from fanfic and and especially from our archive of our own AO3 and how it's like stories are categorized by trope.
Right.
But you're talking about like fan fiction, so it's like it's not like you're going there to learn about new characters or anything, right? You're going there for the tropes. The characters already, right? So it seems that because in the past, several fanfic authors have made it big in traditional publishing, sort of like E.L. James and Cassandra Clare. And like, I think it's like they were both Twilight fan fiction people who
Right.
converted their books into traditional, more traditional fare. For those of you who don't know, 50 Shades of Grey originally started as a Twilight fanfic. You know, so the whole like the whole like wherever like whenever you see in like the whole Omega verse thing is huge in romance fiction and romance fantasy. That's from Supernatural fandom.
Right.
The whole Omega verse thing is from Supernatural fanfics. So a lot of the terminology from fan fiction is now is being used in traditional media to advertise in traditional publishing to advertise books. And I did find it strange for a while because I'm like, wait, this is fanfic stuff. I mean, it's kind of weird seeing people sell books this way. But I kind of warmed up to it, especially when I kind of look at the idea in terms of it's just marketing. It's how do you tell people what your book is about in the fewest amount of words, in the fastest amount of time? It's kind of like memeing your own book, where it's like when people are scrolling like this, right? It's like, how do you that's Omegaverse, Melissa. That's a huge part of Omegaverse. I don't know how they got Mpreg out of Supernatural,
but they did.
but they did. Um So when you're doing like when you figure that people are scrolling, what they're spending like not even 30 seconds on each image, right?
Right.
And it's like, how do you sell a book? How do you sell a comic under those circumstances, right? So it's
One, your
kind of
image has to be good enough to catch their attention to where they
right.
want to fucking read it. But two,
Yeah.
you can't say nobody gives a fuck about your Batman but different.
Right.
If it's Batman but different,
You
tell me
have to
how
say
it's like
why.
Batman
Yeah.
and tell me how it's different.
Mhm.
You have to sell me on you. You can't
Right.
sell me on somebody else. That's
Right.
just
Well, you see, that's kind of like the thing that they were all debating because, like, there was this thing that, it's like, oh, well, if you like X, you'll like Y type of
okay. So
thing,
then why?
But right. So that's kind of the thing, right? You have kind of like we were talking the other day about how interest is actually the first door, not quality.
Right.
That you can scream to the top of your lungs how much of a good book you've made, whether it's a novel or a comic, right? But if I don't have interest in it, I don't care how good it is, right?
Right.
So that kind of switched my thinking a bit, that it's like, oh, it's actually the reader's interest you have to latch on to first. Then you work from there to convince them that your quality will keep them. But you have to snare, but interest is the snare.
Right.
Um so the whole like using tropes is literally setting up different snares. It's literally setting up the snare. So it's like, okay, yeah, it's like, it's like, oh, this is Omegaverse, this is Mpreg, this is enemies to lovers, this is, what, it's like one bed, the one bed trope, it's
Oh
like, or
God.
whatever, um, but the thing is though, it's not that where, because they were complaining that they felt that it minimizes the stories. That it's like, oh, you're just condensing down your story to like like a gray paste, so that anybody could look at it and decide really quickly whether they're interested in your thing or not. But the thing is though, it's like, this is just an ad, right? That's kind of like the purpose of advertising. The purpose of marketing is to condense what, the story that you're telling in such a small bite that you'll get fish on the hook, as opposed to like becoming, and then it's like, you get that fish on the hook, and then it's like you start making the bait larger and larger afterwards, right? So it's like, okay, well, oh, so this person like, oh, do you like enemies to lovers trope, right? So you snag them there. And then it's like, okay, well, what else is the book about? Right? Well, it also has this and it also has that. And then you kind of get to the full blurb. Right. Well, this is, and then it's like, and then hopefully by then you would have put in enough trail mix on the road that they would have like, oh, okay, you know what, yeah, if you're gonna go back to that, if you're gonna say it's like Batman, but what has to come after that but better be interesting. No, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely, because Jose has this book that literally is a Batman but different, right? But the book, he says it's one of the better books. Like whenever he talks about like, oh, what are your favorite independent books that you're reading lately? This is one of those books. It's literally a Batman but different. But it's Batman, but what if he was a mouse? Right? I forgot. I think it was like Mouse of Might or something. I keep forgetting the name of the title. And it, like I said, this book is so Batman, but a mouse. I am so completely surprised they had the creators haven't gotten a C&D from DC.
How big is their following? It's only a
Right?
matter of
Yeah, I
time.
guess. Right. Because it's like, because yeah, it's Batman, but if it's a mouse, and he
Huh.
says no, the story's really good. you know, but here's the funny things, right? So that's kind of the hook, right? That's that Batman, but a mouse.
Right.
Right? That's probably what attracted Jose's attention. It attracted his interest. You know,
Morning.
hello. And then and then it's like, yeah, the artwork's pretty good. And then once he read it, he was hooked. It's like, okay,
Right.
now he can say it's a good book.
Right.
Right. So the whole trope thing was something that they were also, so that's in the end, that's kind of like I said, I was kind of weirded out by it, but then it's like, okay, you know what? I kind of understand it now, where it's like the idea is the hook. It's like, can
Right.
I get your interest? Does this interest you? Reverse harem, fish out of water, it's like, slow burn romance, type of, it's like whatever phrases I need to, it's like, look, it's like we were talking about the word furry, right?
Right. Right.
I mean, technically that would fit on my list. I've put it, actually, even though I don't know if furry is a trope itself or a genre. But,
I'm gonna go with genre.
I would think so too, but I put it in my trope list because as an adjective, pretty
Right.
much,
Right.
because I want to make sure that I get like every point of interest that I can. So, so yeah, so that was just something just to keep in mind, some of the things that the authors were, and I started implement. I don't know whether it works in comics. Um, it's I just figure it's just an easy way. A good concept can carry a bad story somewhat. That's true. That's true.
Somewhat, yeah.
Because again, the good concept gets you first, right?
Right.
And then you decide, the reader decides from there whether your story is worth following up on. So I
Right.
guess that brings it back to the whole like waiting for trades and waiting for a series to end, because again, bringing that back to comics, it's like, because in comics there's the whole thing about waiting for trades, and it's like, yeah, you know what, especially if you have a longer series, or you say you're going to have a longer series. Oh, well, let me put it like this. So the other day, I was having, I was going, trying to figure something out marketing wise with Tyler
Right.
and Tyler Carpenter, and on Twitter. I was talking to him, and it's like I was trying to figure something out and I couldn't narrow it down. And then he literally said that it's like, if someone put a gun to your head, what would be the one thing that's getting in the way of you marketing your book successfully? Right? And the first thing out of my, after making a Fight Club joke, of course, um, I I said, honestly, right now, I have it stuck in my head that I have to finish my series.
Hmm.
Like, I have to finish my 15 issues in order to be able to really focus on marketing it the way I think it should be. Although, to tell you the truth, I couldn't tell you what that means, but like right now, I just have it really stuck in my head. I have to finish my book. I have to be able to say without without a reasonable doubt, my series is finished.
Right.
All I have to do is just put it on Kickstarter, right? So right now, like I've already said, it's like these are all the pencils for volume 3 of Eagle Raven. Right? So these are all the pencils and the letters. All I have to do now is just ink it and color it, right? I'm almost halfway through issue 13 right now, out of a 15 issue limited series.
Right.
So, so probably by the end of today, I will be officially halfway through issue 13. So I have issue 14 and issue 15. I have 2 more issues left to go to finish the series. It still bugs me out. And I really do think that once I'm on that last page of issue 15 to, the end, that that would kind of mentally free me up to actually, like, I don't know, focus more on promoting the book. Although at this moment, I'm not sure, like, what. No, you don't think so?
I absolutely disagree.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you?
I think it will give you a more confident approach in your marketing, but it
Ah,
absolutely is not gonna free up shit because when you're done, I know you.
yeah,
You're moving on to the next.
yeah.
So you're never done.
Right,
You're but you have that completed story arc for the 15 issues. You'll
right,
be able to promote yourself as the completed works, so
right.
I think that in that sense it gives you some kind of psychological release.
Mm. I mean,
But
I
no,
guess,
ma'am.
but the confidence. I guess what it is, and you know what? I do have to agree with that thing. It's not that it frees up my time. It gives me the confidence to say that the book
That's
is
it.
finished.
That's it.
You
Which
know,
in
and I think
turn could actually
right.
boost your marketing. Oh shit, my electricity might go out.
Oh,
Um,
fun
which
times.
might yeah, it just flickered. It'll get you there like with a newer crowd too, because
Right,
people are going to know that this is something that's complete, that I'm going
right,
to get a beginning and an end.
right,
Uh, so you'll have that going
right,
for you, which in turn the marketing may produce more sales.
right,
But the time, no, ma'am, not you.
right. Well,
No.
maybe that
You're
wasn't
full
the
of shit, Daphne.
well, but I think that you did narrow it down to what it's like. It's the confidence, not the time.
Right,
Because it's like, especially seeing this argument on the author's threads, well, I'm not buying the first volume until the entire series is done,
right,
right? I guess that's because I was already thinking that way, that that kind of like reinforced it. You have to finish your series.
right.
You have to finish your series. And then the funny thing is that, like, even Tyler was saying how he was feeling that way too. That's like, because he was talking about, like, when you find a new manga, and I've this I found very frustrating as well. I go to Barnes and Noble. You remember the Barnes and Nobles, right? It's like,
Yeah, it's fucking
you know,
massive.
freaking 7 banks of bookshelves,
Right,
right? And I come across a manga that finally catches my attention, right? There was one recently that I might buy the first volume of. I forgot what it was called. I have it on my phone because I took a picture of it, so I remember it. Um, and knowing manga, right? The first thing I did was check on my phone how many volumes,
huh.
because the one thing, the opposite end of this, the opposite end of I'll wait until your series is done, it is kind of the opposite. It's kind of related,
Right.
is that if a series goes on too long, I won't invest in it.
Hmm.
So right now, it seems when it comes to manga, it seems like 10 or less, more like around 8 or less. So it's like
Oh,
if
well,
I
then you're
look up a
missing out on
manga,
some good manga.
if I look up a manga and it says um this has 8 volumes and it's a completed story, I'm more likely to pick that up to decide, okay, I'm going to start this because it's only 8 volumes, than if the thing said there's 15 volumes.
Oh my god, you are missing out on some great if 15 is your limit, dude.
Because yeah, I know, because one of the books, one of the manga that really had me like balking, right? That's like, oh, I'm really curious about it, but is a manga called Witch Hat Atelier.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, Witch Hat Atelier. It's French. Let's see. A guy who I see at conventions told me that he sells better when he doesn't put all the issues out. You see, this is also another thing that I've come across too. So
That's clever though, for
no,
a
yeah,
marketing perspective.
because here's the thing, right? Because on one hand, you have people saying, "Oh, if it's good, it doesn't matter. If it's it's like if unless your series is finished, I won't buy it." Right? It's like, "Oh, do you have a trade paperback?" Right?
Right.
But at conventions, I get I get a different type of thing. Oh, that's too many stuff. That's too many books on the table.
Right. Right.
It's like
It's
even with a trade
overwhelming.
pab yeah,
When
even
it's
with a
right
trade
there, it's
paperback.
like,
Yeah. It's like they see the 8 issues or 7 issues, they see the trade paperback, and it's like, "Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot." And then it's like, I don't know what you motherfuckers want me to do. I really don't. Right. And then it's like,
a lose-lose.
yeah, I know.
It
And
really
then it's
is.
like, if you only have trades on the table, then you have people going, oh, $35 for a trade. That's a lot. Like it's no winning, that it's like, you try to, I mean, yeah, it's just like absolutely no winning, you know? I mean, yeah, so it's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like people don't know what they want,
Nope.
but the thing is though, right, is that might be more that there's something, I don't know. It's like, maybe it's been a while since I've been at conventions, and Baltimore doesn't count because nobody was there. You know? Because it's like, maybe what it is that people need to, when they talk like that, oh, I want to wait until you get to a trade, right?
Right.
Or it's like, no, actually, it's more like, oh, this is too much. This is too much on the table. Like it's overwhelming, right? And I guess it's like I've never took it upon myself to ask. It's like, oh, well, what makes it, it's like, is this something that you're interested in though? What makes it overwhelming? Is it too many issues? I could tell you again, and then the confidence comes like, well, it's 15 issues. I have it finished. I'm just releasing them. Right.
Right.
It's like, if I told you that, the series is complete, would it be less overwhelming? Well, I guess, but in terms of manga, though, I mean, it's like, because I think that the thing with manga is that they could be really overwhelming. When you
They
have
can
something
be.
like One Piece, where it's like you can have an entire bookshelf just
Ugh.
with One Piece on it, because it's 100 and something volumes.
Yeah,
And
but
it's
then
like,
you have like Full Metal Alchemist, which is
right,
fucking amazing, and
right,
I think there's like 30,
right, yeah,
27, and
right,
then Death Note. That's
right,
well, that one's only 12, so you might. But then there
right.
Monster and just
Right.
there's
Yeah.
some long
And
ones that
it's
are
like,
great.
and it's like, yeah. So it's like, so right now for me, it's like 10 and under, 10 volumes or under. And there was one series that was only 5. And I picked them all up at the same time. I got the whole thing. If it's like, oh, it's only 5, I bought the whole thing. Right.
Nice.
Um, so that's kind of, yeah, so it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of like all these little picadillos that we kind of have to market past, I
Right.
guess. Because I still remember this one comic book creator saying, it's like, oh yeah, my series is 104 issues.
Yeah. And how many issues were they putting out a year?
Oh, I don't remember, but it's like, but even if 104 issues, if they were putting it out once a month, it's still like you're talking about
9
8 or
years?
9 years of waiting for the story to finish, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's Grant. Yeah, I know, Grant. It's kind that manga is kind of intimidating like that. There's, I mean, yeah, it's like the series that I have on my shelf right now, it's all because they're all very limited, or the ones where I do have some volumes, it's because it interests me enough to have them individually, but I haven't gotten around to collecting the rest of them yet. um but even then, I have to be very picky, because that's also part of it too. I don't have the shelf space, and I actually don't like reading comics on the Kindle, or
Mm,
on my phone. I like the actual, like, books I can read
same.
on the phone, I can read
Nope, not even
text, I
then.
can read, but comics though, no, I need the physical book. I need the physical book for
I need the
comics.
physical for all of it. I need that
Yeah.
touch. It's a kink.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's the paper texture.
It
It's the
is.
first
It
thing we
is.
notice,
Like,
right?
and I'll go and buy it again if I lose it or have read it, because God knows this is like the 12th
Well,
time I've read it. Be like,
you know,
"Mm."
so so yeah, so there was like a lot of conversations on authors threads that I thought was interesting enough to kind of like, oh, how could I relate this to comics? You know, Yeah. Oh, when you talk to young people, they're like, I only read manga, fuck American comics. Yeah, because you know what? Because we don't finish it.
We don't finish it, and then when we do give them stuff, we give them less
Right.
for the same fucking price.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's also
Or
part of the
more.
reason. Yeah, that's part of the reason why, like, I have it stuck in my head. No, I have to finish. I have to finish. Because it's the same thing with Tall Tales. I have 2 more issues that I have to finish. I'm like, going, this year, I'm finishing everything that's outstanding. I'm finishing it because I have to say it's finished. It's finished. It's finished. Because I really do think that that's kind of getting in the way, that it's like not yeah, like I need that confidence to say it's complete.
Right.
Before it was the script is complete, right? But the script is the easy part, you know? It's like, yeah, I'm always going to have the script finished first. But it's like being able to say the series is finished. It just has to come out on Kickstarter.
Right.
It's like, I don't know. It just, yeah, it's like it's really the confidence, not the time. I think
Right.
that you pretty much worded it the way what I was trying to get at. It's not really the time of marketing. It would give me more confidence to market it. It's like, oh, don't tell writers that the script is the easy part.
No, don't.
Look, it's like I know what I mean by that, because it's the thing that finishes first.
I need my stuff in this.
It's like that's why Jose is always frustrated at the fact that he's waiting for artwork, and for a script he wrote 2 years ago. That he's still, it's like that story is still getting drawn out. um so so in the end, what I realized, to say that the script was finished really wasn't helpful. But if I were to say the artwork was finished, well,
Huh.
the penciling's finished, it's like, then it's like, oh, okay, so there isn't really, it's like,
A page, a fucking
oh,
panel.
well,
Oh my god.
yeah, well, great. That's a whole other, you see, the thing is, though, it's like, that's an argument that I kind of like absolutely not refuse to get into, because the thing is, though, comics is a collaborative thing. It's a collaborative uh, thing, because it's art and writing. Um,
Right.
you I mean, it's like, but honestly, though, it's like I'm of the camp that the writing does weigh heavier, because that's what keeps the people staying. The artwork, you can have beautiful artwork completely derailed by a shitty story.
You
You know?
can. But you can have a great story with shitty artwork and no one touch it.
Right, exactly. Because I think Jose
So
had
that's why
said
I
that,
think the art
yeah.
weighs heavier.
Yeah. That
Thank
it's
you.
like, yeah, yeah, it's like, because in the end, a shitty story is a shitty story no matter what. But the
Right.
thing is, though, is that even if you have a good story, if you have really, really shitty artwork, it doesn't matter how good the story is, because there are books that I've started that I just had to stop, because it's like, well, if the artist doesn't, if the artist is not putting in that effort for the artwork,
Right.
in the end, I really don't care about the story. you know so yeah, it's, so it has to work together. you know um you know Optimally, you have great art, great story.
Right.
I mean, it's the story, stupid.
You can have
Sorry.
great art and okay story.
you know but in the end, it's the story that keeps you. I mean, it's like, even with these authors, right? It's like they talk about how incredibly important their cover artwork needs to be, especially for novelists, because that's
Yeah.
what attracts. You really do judge a book by its cover. It's
I'm
like,
guilty.
everybody does it. you know so these novelists are like, they're very self-conscious as to what artwork they have, for their covers. And, and for them, it's like they could be spending up to like $1,000 plus just to get a cover done,
Right.
because that's what's going to sell their book. Because again,
Right.
the interest is what hooks you in, but it's the story that keeps you. Right. And
Right.
especially for them, they know that. So, yeah. So honestly though, it's like, yeah, but with comics, it has to be a collaborative effort. The artwork has to be just as interesting as the story for it to
Right.
really work. Because you can't tell me a comic, oh well, the story is good. Then why not write a novel?
Right.
It's kind of like when people tell me, oh, Transformers, well, the CGI is good. The CGI is supposed to be good. Okay.
That's not a selling point.
That's not a selling point. Exactly. The quality of the CGI is not a selling point for Transformers, and yeah. So it's yeah, but with a novel, it's like this. It's this, but again, yeah, it's kind of the comic has to work on both ends. Because if only your artwork is good, then why not just put out an art book? Why even pretend to do a comic? But if your writing is really good, but the artwork isn't, why not just put out a novel? You see, it has to work together, right? But
I believe, like, okay, so what he was saying is like that, y'all work, that the writers were saying they work just as hard as artists and deserve just as much respect. I think they deserve just as much
well,
respect.
I think
But
right
however,
now,
I think it's a lot easier to edit a fucking book than it is a fucking picture. Especially when there's times when C has had a completed page and then an art error has been found, or a change, the writer wants to make a change. And so he has to go back and re-art and redraw and
Right. But I mean, to say that, I don't know, plumbing is harder than pouring cement, it's like you still got to build the house.
Meh.
I mean,
it all
that's
works
like,
together, yes.
that's right. Yeah, that's like the roofers saying they have a harder job than the people putting up drywall. I mean, it's still part of the house. You still need them.
Oh no, absolutely.
You can't have a house that's just a roof. You can't have a house that's just drywall. I mean, it's like you can't, it's like, oh, you can't skimp on the plumbing. Oh, we're not going to have plumbing here. It's like,
here's the bucket. Go
yeah,
dump it.
exactly. With a little sawdust in it, you're good to go. It's, I mean, I don't know. It's like that. I think that argument kind of gets, it gets kind of stupid, because it's like, build the fucking house. It's like, I don't want my contractors fighting. Just build the fucking house. Everybody gets paid. Build the fucking house. Like, yeah, because also, it could really ruin a good story. Shitty lettering.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So is the letterer more important than the writer?
No.
Right. What could really ruin absolutely gorgeous artwork? Shitty coloring.
Oh, isn't that the truth? We've seen that happen.
Right. So are they more important because they can make or break the art? No, you all have to work in tandem. There is no, like you have a dog sled that, the dog in the front is, in the end, no different than the dog in the back. You still need the entire team to move the sled. You can't have everybody going this way. Everybody has to move in the right direction, in the same direction, in order to get the end result that you want. So it's like, to say one is better than the other, or one is more important than the other, it's, in the end, it's kind of like a useless conversation. It's like, no, you guys all have to work together to get the product, to get the finished comic.
But it's so much easier to do this.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome.
I know, like they would, but I mean, it's, but then it's like we're talking about like clout fighting on social media.
Very much so. But when it's bad, it's so bad. Oh my god,
Right.
and it can ruin a good book.
Right. It really,
Like,
it
there are
really
2
can.
instances that come to
Yeah.
my mind where it was like the lettering was so fucking bad that it made the comic impossible to read.
Yeah.
And it was really bad because the story wasn't bad and
Right.
the art was phenomenal in one of
Right.
them. But
Yeah.
the letterer chose this unusual font and then also chose to color a lot of the wording and
Yeah,
did that
that's tough.
shadowing, and it was like in inside bubbles, and it was like,
Right.
I can't fucking read this.
Right.
I
No,
couldn't.
it's like, yeah, it's like I really do not have a preference for that. I really don't. I mean, it's like when I started like really teaching myself how to letter, using the Essential Guide to Comic Book Lettering by Nate Pecos, yes, yes, it should be in everybody's bookshelf. Um, like my whole thing is that I want my books to be as readable as possible,
Right.
as simple as, and I don't do, and it's like Nate does all like these, like fancy things and special effects and stuff. I don't do, I just bare bones lettering, basic lettering, black and white. If I wanted the most special effect I do is when I reverse the bubbles and it's white lettering on black text for
Nice.
effect, right? But that's the extent of it. It's like, because you know what? If I can't read my own book, if I can't read my own comic, how do I expect other people to read it?
Right?
Right? So, like, yeah, so I'm constantly going through, um, you know, my lettering, and it's like, can I read this? It's like, is the text readable at this size? At published size. It's like, are they readable even smaller? Because I eventually want to do a tankobon edition, where they're like 5.5, like digest size. It's like so it's like, okay, is the lettering still readable at that? And that's the most important thing for me, because I want to read it. I want to be
Right.
able to read it, with my shitty eyesight, and I got to get new glasses that I'm procrastinating on. That and a haircut. I really need to get a haircut. Look at this. This is too much.
Mm.
This is too much. Look at all those split ends. It gets, the problem is that
He's
it
so
gets
pretty, Lage.
it gets ratty though. And then it's like, no matter how much conditioner you put in, it just like, it just gets all, not good. So it's like, I have to get it trimmed, but yeah, and I have to get new glasses because, like I said, I've just been procrastinating everything. And then I found out that I need to put insoles in all my shoes.
Uh-oh. Got that achy knees going on?
No, achy calves. Me and Jose went on a walk, because remember that I bought like the Air Force Ones a couple of
Right.
months ago, because I wanted to get a shoe that I can consistently get, right?
Right.
So I bought Air Force Ones, and just, I don't know, the other day it just me and Jose went on a walk and I came back limping. I thought I had hurt myself again. It's like, how did this happen?
Oh,
I don't remember
shit.
twisting, right? At first it was mostly in one calf, right underneath the calf. And then all of a sudden the other one started hurting, and I go, "Oh, wait a minute. Those are my shoes." And then I put on some shoes with like insoles in it, and then it's like the difference was like night and day, and I go, I got
Yes.
to put insoles on everything. I had to buy new slippers because they because I have my other slippers that are like so old that they're all flat. They flattened out, so I have to get the ones with the arch support in it, and now it's like much better to walk. It's like, oh, because I was a little worried for a second, because look, I already went a year with a bum leg. I didn't want to do it again.
Right,
It's
right.
like, oh, it's my shoes. It's my shoes. It's my shoes. I gotta put insoles, so yeah, so new glasses, haircut, and insoles for all my shoes. I'm old, Nita. That's the problem. There comes a there just comes a point, you know.
God.
Oh my goodness. So I don't know. It's like I guess today was just another rambly episode or something. I don't know. I think we made sense somewhere. Although I do have to admit that whole thing about confidence really clarified something for me. You know, it's like it's not that I think I'll have more time to market, it's that I'll have more confidence to market.
Right.
That it's like, especially with people saying we want to see finished work.
Right. But you can't let that stop you from pushing the marketing now. Don't get the idea that like, oh,
Right.
well, I'm just not going to bother.
Oh,
And I mean, I
no,
know
no. You see,
you
that's
wouldn't, but there
right.
are
Yeah.
people who would be like, oh, well,
Right.
then what's the point?
Right.
There's always a point. Never stop promoting.
Yeah. You know, because I definitely want to. The thing about Facebook kind of got me curious. And it's like, you know what if, I did that advertising to put like the engagement, right? Instead
Right.
of, because if I get people to my feed,
They're going to
right?
start seeing your stuff more.
Right. They're going to, and it's like, and I have the links there and everything. So maybe that's what I have to switch up, So I'm gonna try that. Yes, yeah, Allison, we are old.
Thank you, Grant.
And thank you. Yes, thank you, Grant, and thank you for the comments. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. But the confidence thing, I think like, oh yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's like I want to say, yes, I am done. I am finished. It is the complete.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So you got anything else going on today?
Tune in tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern. Jason Doobie will be on. I don't know if he has something set to draw yet, so if you guys drop him a DM, he might actually curate whatever character you put in his head.
Right.
Let's see. Then Tuesday we have Hyde Hermit Studio at 3 p.m. And then 3 p.m. on Wednesday we have Christy Shin, 4 p.m. Daphne Lage. And is it no, it's not even close. God dang. This one's going by slow for me.
Huh.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff for the rest of the week, and we'll talk about that more later.
Right.
And don't forget that Sketchy Saturday, new time, 12 p.m. Eastern.
Right. Before we go, so last night on Jose's show, we had I forgot his name. What was his name? Christopher
something.
Christopher Albright. He was on the show yesterday. He was on the show yesterday. And he has this book out called Clove Hitch. And I need everybody to see this video.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think that for somebody I think he said that this was like his first comic. This was a man who understood the assignment.
Nice.
And I just need everybody to see. It's on Kickstarter right now. As you can see, he has 25 days to go. And this is his video. And I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Let me make sure I did it again. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, make sure you share the audio.
Yeah, because hold on. Let me make sure I share that audio. Yes. Okay. So yes, I need everybody to see this.
Space, man. The real danger is not actually about those galactic krakens or even about the pesky little space vampires. No, the real danger is about debris left from war. You just imagine it. You're trying to go to your grandma's galaxy, just flying around, and next thing you know, a piece of debris hits that windshield, cracks right through, squirts you out like a tube of toothpaste. And that's why you need the Clove Hitch, where we clean up those loose ends.
Bugs in the kitchen and mold in the sink. Chugging down the whiskey, yeah, we'll never stop to think. What do we do tomorrow? Bugs in the kitchen and mold in the sink. Chugging down the whiskey, yeah, we'll never stop to think. What do we do tomorrow? Bugs in the kitchen and mold in the sink. Chugging down the whiskey, yeah, we'll never stop to think. What do we do tomorrow? Tomorrow, tomorrow. Bugs in the kitchen and mold in the sink. Chugging down the whiskey, yeah, we'll never stop to think. What do we do tomorrow?
What the fuck?
I mean, I don't. If this doesn't make you want to buy a copy of this book, I don't know what will. Honestly, I just had to show this book. Like I said, it's from Christopher Albright. It's kind of like a science fiction comedy about people who clean up space debris. It has this really interesting cartoony style, and you know, talk about it's kind of like that meme, you know, first, you know, you had, you know, first you had my interest, now you have my attention. You know, so hold on, let me just put this in the chat. So for all I mean, how can you top a video like that? Hold on, let me just where's the comments?
Oh my gosh, that was great.
You know, you know, and yeah, and it's like I think this is his first campaign, and I just put the link to it in the show notes. I mean, in the chat for everybody to check it out. I just wanted to show that because yesterday he showed that because first he didn't want us to play the video. He's like, no, it's stupid. And I go, well, how long is the video? He goes, oh, it's 1 minute and 30. And I go, okay, because I was afraid he was going to say like 8
3 minutes
or something.
Nah.
And he goes, well, you know. And then he said something about that he filmed it with his kids and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, you know, and he said something about something on fire. And I go, like, he goes, I almost set my house on fire for this. And he goes, oh, now we have to watch it. And it's like, you know, I really, really appreciate a creator who just obviously enjoys what they do.
Right.
And you could just see it. Like somebody who's just slapping together a comic to make a couple of bucks on Kickstarter does not make a video like that. You know? Yeah. So I don't know. I was just
fun.
I was so endeared by it. I just wanted to show everybody the thing. So like I said, the link is in the chat. So so thank you everybody for joining us today for another rambly hour and a half of the Rage Into the Vlogs show. If you yes, and yes, my beautiful eyeball people, I see you. Thank you so much for joining us and sticking out with us as well. Thank you so much for that. And if you want to learn about more about me and my artwork and all my other stuff and my upcoming campaigns, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you are interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress updates. And yes, remember that Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, is on Kickstarter. It's on pre-launch right now. This is volume 2. I keep wanting to say volume 3. Volume 2, which collects issues 5 through 8. So if you're into fantasy dramas with a lot going on, hold on, I'm trying to find the link here. Okay, so yeah, so I'm also putting a link to it in the chat as well. The campaign launches June 10th, so make sure you sign up so you don't miss it when the campaign goes live. Also, you can also find me here on YouTube for 500 plus videos and my semi-weekly art live stream Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, where you can catch me drawing whatever it is I'm working on, and just talking to the chat. We pretty much talk about whatever you want to talk about. We usually just it's very random, the conversation conversations. So hang out. You can come hang out on the live stream. It's kind of like a convention, but without having to feel like you're blocking the table. So it's a lot of fun. And remember, you can also read Eager Raven Air the First Unicorn for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. So you can check it out before it goes live on Kickstarter. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales. That's TAILSonline.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears of the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday. Again, thank you everybody who supported the campaign for the physical issues of this story arc. So I'll be counting up all the books soon and sending that out. So hopefully in 2 weeks you can get everything out the door. So again, thank you so much everybody for joining us on this Monday, which finally is actually sunny over here. It's been raining for God knows how long. And, I hope you guys had a very nice weekend, and I hope the rest of your week goes as smoothly as possible. So, and of course, in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
What up, lovelies? This is Mike Jimmy, CEO of Furries and the creator of Love and Korra, now back with our 7th issue in the series, The Bond. Love and Korra is a series of one-shots, building a world one story at a time. A couple of years ago I imagined a world and I told a couple of writers to go have fun in my sandbox. And so they did. Each adventure is unique and adds just a bit more to make this world feel more and more alive. They can be read separately and all contain a complete story. In our upcoming release, you follow Sevier and Aphil on their journey into maturity and find out if their friendship breaks down in rage or whether their bond is stronger than bad emotions. Now on Kickstarter and Fund My Comic.
Come all you young sailor men, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea. And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys. When the wind blows, we're all together, boys. Blow ye winds westerly, blow ye winds blow. Jolly southwester, boys, steady she goes.